On the Democrat side, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman won the Democratic Senate nomination just days after suffering a stroke. In fact, it was his wife who was center stage last night to accept the nomination as he recovers in a Pennsylvania hospital.
You may have noticed I am not John Fetterman, the next senator of our great state. As I'm sure most of you know, John had a little hiccup on Friday while we were on the road campaigning. Thank God he's already on his way to a full recovery. Like so many others, I found the American dream and made my life here in Western Pennsylvania. I found love, a wonderful family, and a place I am proud to raise my children. John and I want to make sure that everyone in Pennsylvania can find the American dream here too.
And Pennsylvania's Second Lady, Giselle Fetterman, joins us now. Congratulations, seamlessly stepping in last night. How's your husband doing this morning? Got to get some audio.
He's doing well. Surgery yesterday.
Might have muted. There we go.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We had trouble hearing you. So again, just let's know how's your husband feeling?
He's feeling great. He wants to get out. I'm not letting him. They're holding him a little bit longer. But surgery went great, and he's well on his way to a full recovery.
So you have played a big role in his campaign, so it was pretty seamless, as I said last night, seeing you on stage, the two of you, quite a team. But tell us, though, what is his road to recovery looking like? Because I know a little bit about having a pacemaker put in. I mean, this wasn't a routine, just let's walk out of the hospital surgery, everything is fine. How long will it take for him to really be able to get back on the road?
So I'm waiting for the doctors to say exactly, but maybe a week or two. We're waiting for those numbers. A pacemaker is actually a pretty standard procedure. 1 million folks each year get one added. It will make sure that his heart has a good, long, strong life. Sir Elton John has one, and you've seen him performing on stage. It takes nothing away from your quality of life and what you can do.
How hard was it getting him off the campaign trail? It had to be awfully difficult for you to talk to him a few days before the election. You're going, honey, you're going to slow down, you're going to stop, and we're going to take you to the hospital. How tough was that?
It was tough. There were a few cuss words in between the honeys. We were able to get them in there.
I'm sure there was. So why don't tell me what is politically? What's the biggest difference between your husband and the Republicans, whoever it is, the Republicans that he's going to face in the general election?
I mean, I think it's night and day. It's going to be the difference between being able to codify Roe v. Wade or work to raise the minimum wage or address climate issues. It really is two different sides of a coin.
Yeah. And President Biden, I think he backed the other candidate, but at the same time, there's a lot of alignment with the Democratic agenda. What do you think the biggest challenge will be in this campaign to those especially who say your husband is too progressive?
Well, Biden actually didn't endorse, the president did not endorse in our race. And, someone can say that, but really he ran on issues that maybe were progressive 10 years ago when he first started talking about them. But since then, the Democratic Party has caught up to his thinking. So I would say he's been moving the needle for a long time, and everyone else caught up now.
Giselle, good morning. Thanks for being with us. It's Willie Geist. I'm curious, when you had that conversation with your husband about getting off the campaign trail, I know it was a tough one. What were some of the signs you saw that told you he needs to slow down and go get this checked out?
Thank you for asking. This was my first witnessing a stroke. I had read about what to look for, but to actually experience in the moment was pretty shocking. With him, it was 1 second. And in 1 second only, his mouth went down and went up. And it was so slight that someone else would not have noticed. If I was looking away or down at my phone, I would have missed it. but my gut in that moment realized something was wrong and immediately rushed them to the hospital.
Good for you for insisting on it. We're so glad to hear he's recovering. Got to ask you, too close to call still over on the Republican side. We may not know for a few days who wins the Republican nomination, who the opponent will be for your husband. Are you rooting for one of the two, David McCormick or Dr. Oz?
No, not really. I mean, we're going to run the same race we ran in the primary when it's the general. It's still getting out, meeting folks everywhere across the state, making it to every county. So whoever it is, I look forward to facing them.
Pennsylvania Second Lady Giselle Fetterman, thank you very much, and congratulations to both you and your husband this morning.
Congratulations, and best wishes to him and you out on the campaign trail.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right.
Thank you.
You too. You know, Willie, just talking about this race, Fetterman really, again, you see him campaigning around. He does not look like every other politician. In fact, he doesn't look like any other politician. And he relates extraordinarily well to the people of Pennsylvania. And you look on the Republican side, and I must say, I want to circle back to it. Dave McCormick, I'm very surprised that McCormick, a guy who's considered an establishment Republican, a guy that ran a huge hedge fund, a guy who has this sort of resume that Republicans would have loved years ago. I fully expected him to do well in the suburbs, to do well in cities. And just get, like Dolan did in Ohio, and then get wiped out in rural communities simply because Trump just bashed the hell out of him the last week or so of the campaign. But you look at the map that Kornacki showed, and he did extremely well, especially in Western Pennsylvania, which is absolutely necessary for any Republican if they want to beat Democrats in the state of Pennsylvania. It does seem, they didn't say so, but I'm sure that Fetterman's campaign would much rather face Dr. Oz, who can be picked apart really easily, than Dave McCormick, who showed surprising strength. You look at that map, McCormick did extremely well in rural Pennsylvania. Guys that look like him, guys that talk like him, guys with his sort of background, they ain't doing well in rural Pennsylvania in 2022 Republican primaries.
No, Giselle Fetterman wasn't going to pick one there, I guess, but there's no question that Democrats much would rather run against Dr. Oz because he became a totally different person when he bought the house in Pennsylvania, hugged Donald Trump close, and we've seen the ads that have been run against him where he's had different positions on abortion rights and guns and everything else, and running on his fame and running on the fact that he's hugged Donald Trump very closely. But it'll be interesting to see when this mail-in vote comes in, Mike Barnicle, if David McCormick flips this, because he is, as Joe says, he was a mainstream Republican, ran a big hedge fund, military veteran. He called January 6th a dark chapter in American history, assigned a bit of the blame to Donald Trump. As the primary went along, he tried to, he said, yes, I support the America First agenda, and we can't completely blame Donald Trump. He was trying to get his endorsement, which he didn't. But there's no question he'll be a tougher opponent for Fetterman in that race.
Absolutely no doubt about that. I mean, he spent a lot of money on media. There's no doubt about that because he has a lot of money. But he also spent an enormous amount of time in central Pennsylvania, in rural towns. And he's an approachable guy. He's a military veteran, a war veteran. He's articulate. He's not standoffish. He is who he is. I mean, he's the same guy that he was 20 years ago with a lot more money today, obviously. But there's no doubt that the Democrats would be better off facing Dr. Oz.